Hi Libra, welcome to your reading for today. We're going to see what you need to know right now. It's past, present, or future for you, okay? You could be a cross watcher, so just take it how it resonates. And let's see, Libra, what do you need to know right now? What's going on with Libra? The High Priestess, the Lovers, and the Three of Pentacles in reverse, and the Hermit. Okay, so there's something here about not being able to work together or not being able to collaborate on something. A lack of teamwork or collaboration, okay? The Lovers and the High Priestess, yeah, something about a romantic connection or a relationship. The Hermit, you could have gone into some sort of isolation here. Okay. Let's see, why is the Three of Pentacles reversed here? The Nine of Wands in reverse. The King of Swords. Man. The Ace of Cups in reverse. No love. No new beginning. No love. Huh. Okay. Why is the Lovers here? Or someone could have like given up on love. It's what I'm getting. Like the Nine of Wands reverse. Like somebody just gave up. Like they don't fight for something anymore. There's no love. Justice. Libra energy right here. Okay. Something is your justice, or something is about restoring some sort of balance in your life, or something being made fair for you. Okay. The Ten of Swords in reverse, coming out of betrayal, overcoming betrayal, or some sort of a connection where there is no betrayal, or there will not be betrayal, or I don't know, we'll see what that is. The Moon in reverse. Okay, so something is now coming to light. That something wasn't betrayal. Something wasn't betrayal. Okay, what's the High Priestess? The Message. Okay, a message from a High Priestess. The Two of Pentacles, about a choice or two different, it's even giving me like two different timelines. Like, it's like giving me a crossroad. Okay, it's like, look, the High Priestess at the bottom. Okay, so someone here is definitely a High Priestess. It's like someone is being presented with two options right now. And it's like, these are your options. Okay, so if you choose this, then this is what your fate looks like. If you choose this, this is what your fate looks like. It's like, but it's your choice, you know? But it's a crossroad. Like someone has to, it's like this is giving me the feeling of like, you know, usually we don't know our future, right? Usually the future is a bit of a mystery, but this is almost like the High Priestess presenting someone with two different futures or two different timelines, so that somebody knows, like, you know, this is what it could be, right? I don't know. Give me one more for that, please. The Ten of Wands. Okay, so somebody is feeling burdened. Somebody is feeling a lot of pressure, or like something feels very hard, or there's like a weight on someone. Something feels heavy, like very heavy. Or it's something that you and someone else, you're both feeling it, because the Lovers and the Two of Pentacles, it's like something here is not shared. Something is shared. It's not like carried alone. So you could feel like both of you feel like something is heavy, or something weighs heavy, or something like that. Let's see. I don't know. Three of Pentacles reverse. Family. Having family, having bliss, okay? Happiness, unity, together. What's this with not working together, though? The truth. This is the truth about no longer collaborating together, no longer working together on something. What do you mean that's the truth? That something here isn't balanced. Something isn't balanced out. Something isn't balanced out in order for it to work. What does that mean? Crossroads. I can't make it up. Crossroads. Okay? Hold on. Crossroads. And birds. So someone has a choice to make first, okay? What's this with no love, though? Temperance. Yeah, something here is about healing. Something is about healing. Or guidance, or being guided in a certain way. Lovers in reverse. No love in relationships. This is almost like that cliche. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to be like corny or something, but it's giving me a bit of cliche. Like, this is the truth about why it never worked out in love before, okay? Like, why someone here gave up on love, or why someone feels like love isn't worth it, or why love never works out, or there's just, they can't seem to find a soulmate. This is why. It's giving me something like that, really. Okay. What's the Lovers? Judgment in reverse. Somebody making a bad judgment call, or something being judged harshly. The Magician and the Two of Wands. Yeah, a choice. A choice in love. Two of Cups. A choice in a relationship. Okay, what is this about this choice here? With Judgment reverse. I like you. Someone likes you. Romance is blooming. Fun flirting. Want a date. Why is that here with Judgment in reverse? Or is that, maybe that has to do with like the fear of judgment, like being judged by the other person. Breakup, separation, silent treatment, stop the pattern, cutting something off because of fear of judgment. cutting something off because of fear of judgment. Hold on. Or abandoning something completely because of being judged. Strength, the Five of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, it's like, I mean, when I just look at these cards here, right? This would be like the epitome of turning your sadness into power, right? Like turning your saddest moments into your biggest strengths. Because you're not staying in the Five of Cups. It's like, yes, you're grieving. Yes, you're sad. Yes, you're going through something that is hurting you emotionally. But the Wheel of Fortune and strength, that's like you turning that into your strength and overcoming it, right? So everything that you've gone through in your life, you've actually overcome it and you've become stronger because of it. This is very interesting because it's like the peacock. Because you might feel like if you were vulnerable and open with someone about yourself, that your sadness or the things that you've been through are like a weakness in a way, or that you'll be judged for the things that you've been through, right? Or that someone will like look down on you or see you weak in some sort of way. But I feel like, I mean, I know that you know that everything you've been through has made you stronger. Like, you know that. You know that you've mastered a lot, okay? Or that you have a lot of discipline, a lot of strength to get through anything. But I feel like the way it's coming out is almost like supposed to be telling you that that's also what other people see, even though you might not feel that way, right? So this is kind of like, you know that you've been through a lot, but you know that you're stronger because of it, and you know that you've overcome it. But there's still a part of you that feels like if you were to let other people into it, they would judge you, or they would look down on you, or see you differently in some sort of way. Even though this, again, it's kind of a weird feeling, because I feel like Spirit is trying to say other people see it too. Other people see your strength too. But it's almost like you don't allow that thought into your mind for some reason. That other people see your strengths and not just like where you're lacking. Tell me about that. A woman in the reverse, though. Yeah, it has something to do with like feeling this is like the feeling of, okay, so you know the masculine energy, the feminine energy, like the yin and yang, right? The sun and the moon. Right. When I thought about that reading that I did with the sun, the moon, the stars, the sun, the yin and the yang, after that was done, I realized the sun and the moon is the masculine and the feminine, and I didn't speak on it in that reading. The sun is the masculine and the moon is the feminine energy, right? The sun and the moon. And also that there's like this weird, there's like this very unique dynamic here where one person is completely in the moon and the other person is completely in the sun. Like you are completely exposed in a way, like everything about you is seen, and the other person is completely in the dark, in the moon. And I thought that was so interesting. But here with the woman in reverse, it's like, this is the thing. It's like, that all of the sadness and all of the things you've been through, they have actually empowered the feminine side of you. Like, you feel totally confident in your, like, if you're a woman, I'm just speaking because woman is in reverse, right? But you can like flip it as a man's perspective, okay? But you feel totally confident in who you've grown to become, okay? But it's almost like the things that you've gone through make you feel like you are not able to completely be in that feminine energy, right? Like fuck. Okay, sorry, this heart arrhythmia is like, I don't know what's going on today with me, but and I was about to say something that's like really hard to talk about, okay? Yeah, something here about like getting out the words could be a little bit hard, okay? So this is going to be a touchy thing, okay? So I'm going to say trigger warning really quick, because I am going to talk about some kind of deep things here, okay? But it's giving me the energy of like a woman who has suffered like pretty extensive like sexual trauma in life, right? So if you've been through a lot of kind of like, you know, sexual trauma or sexual abuse, then you might feel like all that you've been through has made you the strong woman that you are today, and knowing who you are and what you're worth and what, you know, what you deserve, and it's made you really empowered, actually, okay? That you know that you are more than that. But it's like, this is like the fear of judgment that like other people won't be able to see you as a strong feminine energy because of all of that abuse. You know, it's like, it's something that like because it cuts into the femininity of you. It cuts into the like the divine feminine aspect of you. It cuts into that because it's the opposite of that. Because it harms that. So it's like almost like this weird I mean, I don't know, this is a horrible way to put it, but I don't know how to put it any other way, okay? I really don't. It's almost like you feel like everybody around you like is looking for a virgin and you're just not. You know? And it makes you feel like you're like dirty in that sense, but it wasn't it wasn't your fault, you know? But it's like that feeling of like, now you present yourself to the world and you know that you were a victim and you know that you didn't deserve these things, but it hurt your sacred divine femininity in such a way that now you feel like there's something wrong with you, right? And that is just an example that I'm getting here because of woman in reverse. But, you know, if you're speaking from a masculine sense, like, I'm not a man. I don't know. I can't speak on that. I don't know where that wound would be in the masculine energy, because I'm not a man. So you're going to have to go through that. I can just kind of speak on like what it is for women, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so okay, what else with the moon in reverse here? The Ace of Cups. Yeah, love. or innocence, or having a pure heart, okay? Or feeling, or not wanting to be betrayed, or not wanting to be hurt again. Yeah, that kind of goes back to the beginning, okay? Where it's like giving up on love because you feel like it's nowhere to be found, or every kind of relationship you kind of slip into, you realize like that wasn't love, like that person didn't love me, okay? Or they didn't really treat me like they loved me. Because if you think about how they treated you, you're realizing like that wasn't love. But then it's kind of hard to compare to anything else because you've never met someone that feels like love. So, you know, you kind of don't know what it's supposed to feel like or what it's supposed to look like because you've never seen it before, right? So if all you've run into is really bad relationships where one might have been worse than the other, but they're, you know, everything's kind of painful, right? So you just don't really know what real love feels like. So then you get into relationships where you think it's love, but you're only kind of maybe thinking that because you don't really know what the real thing feels like. Does that make sense? Maybe you delude yourself a lot. Yeah. The Two of Swords in reverse. Yeah, this is about coming out of some sort of confusion or not knowing what to think or not knowing what to believe, okay? And this could even be about what love is. Like, what is love? Like, and not just what is love, but like, what does it feel like when someone loves you, you know? Like, really. I don't know. Why do I feel like it's that? Okay, Five of Pentacles. Yeah, feeling left out in the cold, feeling insecure, feeling like you lack something in some sort of way. Like something is lacking, even though it's not. I mean, and that's kind of the thing here about this energy, is that you're actually not lacking anything at all. Like if you think about yourself, right? If you're alone and you think about yourself, then you really like yourself, okay? Like you know how strong you are, and you know how much you've been through and how much you can overcome, and how everything that you've been through has shaped you and made you learn things about yourself and about the world and how it works, you know. But if you're a really awakened person, you also know that most people don't think like you. They don't perceive like you. They don't understand like you. They are judgmental, you know. People are judgmental. People do form opinions. People do like shame the victim. People do look down on others for their mistakes, you know. So I feel like it is natural to then have that kind of like a reserved energy about you, where you know that it's not really who you are. Like what happened to you is not who you are. What happened in your past is not who you are, and it doesn't define who you are. But you don't really know like if other people are going to see it the same way, right? Yeah, so the Emperor and the Nine of Swords. Okay, this has to do with an Emperor that is all stuck up in their mind, worried, stressed out, thinking way too much, overthinking, an overthinker. Okay. So that could be the King of Swords Emperor here. They're an overthinker. About the Knight of Cups and the King of Pentacles. About a love offer from a King of Pentacles. Somebody showing someone affection or romance. What is that about? A self-absorbed narcissist. Love bombing. Yeah. This is like a relationship that you had in the past. Okay, so relationships to narcissists or to people that lack empathy, but they know how to love bomb. And that could be the confusing thing about the relationships and what I was talking about with like, what is love? Like, what does it feel like to actually be loved by someone if you've never felt that before? You know, like how are you supposed to know that something is love if you've never seen it? Because then you get into relationships with these narcissists where the relationship is extremely one-sided, but they love bomb you so much that you think like, well, this has to be love because they're love bombing me, right? But in those kind of relationships, like I know for me that during the relationship already, you will have so many times where you ask yourself, am I being abused right now? Like, this feels like abuse, okay? But that's the weird thing with the narcissist is that like sometimes you just can't really, it's so covert sometimes, so subtle sometimes. They're so up and down, up and down, up and down, okay, with their moods and stuff. And love with narcissists is very conditional, okay? So, but you'll ask yourself many times, like, am I being abused? Like, this feels like abuse. Like, I feel like that's not really what it's supposed to feel like. But how are you supposed to know if you don't have anything to compare it to? And maybe there was just a lot of times in your life like that where you had to learn for yourself, like, what you deserve, because it is true, you let people treat you how you think you deserve to be treated. So if there's like thoughts that you have about yourself, or you know, if you feel like you're lacking something in some sort of way and someone comes and treats you that way, you know, I don't think this is conscious. I think this is very subconscious for most people, that you maybe allow a lot of things or you tolerate a lot of things because a part of you doesn't really know if you deserve something better, you know, or what does it feel like to have something better? You don't know. Yeah, this is like a narcissist. I don't know why I'm getting that so strongly here, but you know, a relationship with a narcissist is really a mind fuck. Honestly, it's a mind fuck because they are extremely judgmental. They are very judgmental and very critical, and they will really judge you for a lot of things, right? Like criticize you a lot, but then they love bomb you, and then they tell you like, yeah, everything I ever wanted, right? So why is that coming out so strong here? This thing with narcissists, I don't know. Or maybe that's even where it ties in with like the fear of being judged, because maybe you even had relationships in the past where if you were open about things, they judged you. Like the people that are supposed to understand you and accept you and love you and have empathy towards you, they judge you. They made you feel like there's something wrong with you, you know? They made you feel like you're the problem, or, you know, God, you know, one of the worst things that narcissists say to someone is like, oh, and I gotta say, I've heard this a couple times in my life, okay? And that's why I know what it feels like. It's like when they say, you know, I didn't treat this other person like I treated you. I only treat you this way, okay? You know, everyone else I treat so well. And I treated everyone so well. But only you I treat this badly. And it's kind of like they're trying to tell you, like, because you're the problem, like, because you deserve to be treated like shit. And I had never treated anyone else horribly, but you deserve it. You know, that's like, and that's another thing that they like then put into your mind, right? A little bit, is that you feel like it must somehow be you that everybody else gets treated better except for you. So, you know, it's like, man, I feel like it's not just about you and how you feel about yourself. You've also had people say a lot of like cruel things to you in your life that make you feel like the things that you keep to yourself, other people will judge it because they have. Or you are like, or there is something wrong with you because that's what they told you, you know? Or that's how they treated you. Yeah. The Knight of Coins and the Three of Swords. Yeah, heartbreak, pain. Heartbreak and pain. Yeah, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of pain. The Chariot and the Ten of Coins. Leaving. Moving forward towards family. Going towards family because of heartbreak and betrayal and pain. Engagement ring. And photographs. Looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia. Something about photographs. And an engagement ring, a partnership, a commitment. And being stabbed in the back. Huh, what is this about? Hold on. Incense burner. Something that you've cleansed away from you, something that you've been cleansing, something that you've been purging. And I feel like it's like things that have hurt your soul, okay? Like things that you had to cleanse away and clean out of your system a bit, right? And it has to do with like commitment or feeling worthy of commitment, okay? Wanting some sort of commitment in a partnership, but also something about photographs. That's like, I don't know if I should say it. Yeah, it's something about like people or partners expecting things of you or wanting you to do things for them, but then when you do it, they treat you like you're not good enough for that, or you're not worthy of that, or other things are better in comparison to you. Okay? This even feels like being in a relationship with a person that makes you feel like you have to compare yourself to others, or they do it. Like they compare you all the time to other people. Like with the example I said of them saying like, well, I treated this person so well and only I treat this way. It's like they're kind of like rubbing in your face that they're comparing you to someone else, you know? Or with like the photographs, it's kind of the same thing. Like they want you to do things for them because they're asking for it and they want it. But then when they're comparing it to something else, they would rather go somewhere else, you know? So they make you feel like you're lacking in something, like somewhere else it's better, okay? Which then again, like really, like that'll make it drill deeper and deeper and deeper into the psyche that you are not worthy of the commitment, of the affection, of the attention, that you give of yourself to someone. You give them, but they still, like, it doesn't matter how much you give of yourself, they don't see you as being good enough or something, right? Yeah, it's giving me a relationship with a narcissist that took you like a long time to kind of see that they're a narcissist, right? And I feel like that is actually pretty common for the most part in most relationships with narcissists, is that you realize like way too late that they're a fucking full-blown narcissist, and you've been bending over backwards trying to have like some level of like empathy from a person. I don't know. It's very up and down, right? So the Tower and the Hermit, yeah, so that's why you go into isolation, or you just, something about what you've been observing, what you've been reflecting. The Tower, yeah, you've been reflecting this and observing this for a long time. Like I said, it's like it's giving me a relationship dynamic with a narcissist where over time the house destructs on its own, because they keep doing things over and over again that open up your mind to seeing what they're doing and what they're actually capable of, right? Like you might have seen, like I said, things over time that made you question, like, is this abuse? Like, I feel like I'm being abused. I feel like this isn't how it's supposed to feel, right? But maybe you just kind of, I don't know. It's something about you just not seeing the person clearly that you're with. And sometimes it takes a tower moment, like an absolute mind-shattering, heart-shattering moment where you just look at them so much differently after that, and where everything seems so much clearer now, right? Like no more confusion. Now you know exactly who you've been dealing with this whole time. And it can take a while, but you'll look back and you'll be like, the signs were there all along. And you can probably think about like 100 things that they said or did to you where you were like, that was so mean, or that was so fucked up, or That was clearly abuse. But the other thing that I'm getting is like, look, circling back to the beginning here with talking about like this feminine energy, right? Where if all you've known all your life in relationships, now I'm speaking of relationships, is abuse, then you don't really know. Like, it's giving me the, okay, so it's giving me the kind of a thing where everyone was kind of abusive to a certain extent, but maybe the first couple ones, they were like full-blown, okay, full-blown abuse. And then you get in a relationship with like a covert narcissist, and it's way harder to differentiate. It's way harder because you are equating abuse with like the extreme versions of it, where you're like, oh, this is definitely abuse. But then you get into a relationship with a narcissist where they're more covert about it, or they're more like backhanded about it, and they're more discreet about it, and they're better at love bombing, you know, and better at lying, better at manipulating. And so you don't know, like, all you know is like extreme abuse, but you don't know love because you've never experienced that. So you're probably like having a really hard time understanding, like, is this love or is this abuse? Is this love or is this abuse? You know? So that could have taken you a while to understand that, no, this is not what it's supposed to feel like. But you could have had that, you know, a couple times where you were like, I'm not really so sure if this is what it is, but So, all right. Now, why is the High Priestess here? The Eight of Swords. Yeah, it's like you're stuck in your head. You're trapped in your head. You don't really know. You feel it's like a self-imposed prison. And even the self-imposed prison of, like, I think the biggest self-imposed prison I had to look at for myself was the idea that it's almost like settling, especially if you're in a bad relationship with someone, okay, or with a narcissist, and you haven't had that awakening yet that they are a full-blown narcissist, okay. You have this self-imposed prison of like, well, you know, every relationship is probably hard, or every relationship is going to be difficult, or you're going to have problems, or you're going to disagree, or, you know, like, it's kind of like, well, every relationship is going to be like this, you know? So you might not think that there's something wrong because you're telling yourself that, like, you'll have problems with anyone and everywhere, and it'll always feel like hard or difficult, and you'll always have to kind of try and talk it out, you know? So what I think you had to face here in this situation is you had to change your perspective, okay? Because your perspective was telling you that everything is hard. Every relationship is hard. You know, you always have your ups and downs. Doesn't matter who you're with, you're probably always going to fight this way. I feel like that's something that might have been going on inside of you here. The Eight of Wands, quick action. The Knight of Pentacles, some sort of a long-term plan, planning something long-term, planning something for a while, figuring out how to take action, figuring out how to leave, or the future. Okay, yeah, so you could have gotten to a point in the past where you were ready to leave. Like you were ready to go, okay? This is giving me a situation where you're like, you're like down. You're down. You're like, I'm done. I think I can't take it anymore, okay? This is like ruminating a lot on the past, thinking about the past, realizing how this person has been treating you, realizing that this just feels wrong and you don't want it anymore, okay? You're like, I'm actually done, right? You can feel that you don't feel the same. But this is like a situation where maybe you ask Spirit, can I leave? I want to leave. I'm ready to leave. I think I'm ready to go now, okay? And Spirit might have told you, not yet. Okay? Because it's giving me a reading that I did a couple months ago where it was like, it's your choice, okay? So you might have gotten to a point where you said, I'm ready to go. And this is kind of the weird thing about it, right? Because it's making me feel like, one thing about it that might have been confusing, like if there might have been like some sort of loose ends that had to get tied up first, okay? I feel like you were ready to go. You were ready to leave, okay? But maybe you felt like it wasn't time yet, or Spirit was telling you like you can leave, you will leave, but not yet, okay? Because you don't know why. I don't know why, but Spirit could have said something to you like, it's your choice. Like you can leave now or you can stay for your highest good, okay? And that might even have something to do with like safety. I don't know, like you being safe, like making sure you're safe. Like, yeah, you can leave right now, but for your highest good, it might be better to leave later. But it is your choice. It is your choice, okay? So maybe at some point you decided to stay even though you wanted to leave, and it was because Spirit told you like it's your choice, it would be better for you, like for your highest good, to stay a little bit longer, right? Because this kind of reminds me of a situation where, okay, I'm going to tell a little story here. I was living in this apartment, okay, and it was a beautiful apartment. It was beautiful. I really liked it there. But every time I thought about like doing some sort of work in the house, or like renovating or painting the walls or kind of changing things, I always got this intuitive feeling, or like a little fruit fly would fly in my face and be like, no, don't do that. Don't do it. And so what I felt like was going on there with this feeling not to renovate the house, not to paint the walls, not to do anything, it was almost like Spirit was like preparing me for the fact that I would not be there very long. Like I could feel it. I could feel what Spirit was trying to tell me. It's like, look, you can paint the walls, but it's not going to be worth it because you're not going to be here very long. So that for me was already a sign that Spirit was kind of preparing me to leave. Okay, even though I was like I like the place, I like the apartment. I always felt in the energy that like Spirit was already preparing me for the fact that I wouldn't be there very long. And when I asked like, can I leave? Like, is it time to leave? And Spirit said, not yet. Your work here isn't done yet. Okay, it's something about like, if you're being used as a vessel or as a hand, like an extension of the divine, and they're like working through you, and they have a mission, okay? It's like they know that you're not where you're supposed to be, and they know that you're gonna leave, but if something isn't done yet, then they're like, okay, just stay a little while longer, right? Even if you're like, I'm ready to leave right now, okay? And they're like, well, you can, it's your choice, but for your highest good, you should probably stay a little bit longer, okay? And I don't know why that's coming out here, but it's like, it's kind of giving me that, especially with the Tower that came out, that slow destruction of something in front of your eyes. It's like you're already, if you're in a situation where you know something doesn't feel right, you will feel the destruction of the house slowly, okay? And, you know, you're going to feel it too, that like there's something in your spirit that's telling you you're not really going to be here very long, okay? But sometimes you just have to let things play out, right? I don't know. Let's see. Anything else? The Queen of Swords. Yeah. Libra. That's what that is, okay? That's the truth. So, the house. The Four of Wands. Yeah, the house. The house. That's funny, right? The house. The Queen of Swords in the house. Funny that comes out. Yeah, it's the house. It's that feeling that I was just speaking on. It's like a spirit could have been preparing you the whole time that you weren't going to be there long. In like subtle things. Like, don't paint the walls. It's not worth it. Don't renovate anything here. It's not worth it. Don't change the curtains. It's not worth it. You're not going to be here very long. Maybe at the time you didn't know why that was, right? You didn't really know what spirit meant with that, but like I think through time you kind of figured it out, okay? The Three of Wands, yeah, because there was always a plan. There was always a plan in the future. And if this is about a relationship, then it's the same concept. It's like you could have gone through a phase where you were definitely realizing that this was not going to last, and it's kind of just like trying to figure out like when is the right time to leave, okay? Because you can be ready to leave, but what if it would bring like more obstacles with it than trying to create like a smoother transition, okay? But for you, I feel like it was clear. It was pretty clear, you know, for a while that something was destructing, and that it's like you're trying to. It's kind of like the metaphor of a boat that has holes in it all over the place, and you're just kind of trying to keep the water out of it, but you know it's sinking. It's just like Spirit's telling you like it's sinking. Like it's sinking. But we're going to tell you when the right time is to jump off the boat. Okay. Because if you jump off the boat now and you're like out in the middle of the ocean, you're not safe. Okay. So, I mean, you can jump out the boat right now if you want. But, you know, if you let the boat float a little bit closer to the shore and then you jump out at the last minute, you might make it to shore. You know what I mean? So I cannot make it up. I'm not kidding. Look at this. The Six of Swords, and this person is holding a ship in their hand. They're holding the ship in their hand. And the Six of Swords is all about getting to safety. Getting to safety. It was about your safety. Okay? So why in the past, when you were done, when you were at the bottom, when you were like, I'm ready to go, I want to leave, why didn't you? Because Spirit told you, you can, but you're not safe yet. You're not safe yet. Just a little bit longer so we can get you to safety. Look, it's like the water is coming out of the ship, right? Like with the example I just said. The water is like, there's holes in the ship. And Spirit knows that too, and you know that too, but it's like, God is like, let me carry the ship a little closer to shore before you jump out, okay? Because right now, you can leave if you want. It's your choice, but for your highest good, hold on a little bit longer. Okay? So that's why you made certain choices in the past, okay? People maybe didn't understand why you made the choices that you made, okay? But it was because it was between you and God. It was between you and your archangels, Archangel Michael. It was between you and them. They were showing you the way. And they were telling you what to do and when to do it and how to do it. Because a situation that you were in, or a relationship you were in, or a place you were in, it was about your safety. It was about getting you out of there as safe as possible. Okay? And if Spirit tells you, don't move right now, don't do it right now, then you listen. And if Spirit tells you right now, then you do. And I feel like you're always going to get the message about when is the time to leave. Like if Spirit tells you right now, you leave right now, then you know it's time. But you must have always known as well that Spirit would tell you. You know, if you're asking and saying, can I go now? I'm ready to go. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to give up. And Spirit says, maybe better not to, okay? You know, for your safety, it's better not right now. Like just wait a little bit longer. You knew that had a purpose as well, you know. So, I don't know. Closing words here for Libra today. The King of Pentacles. Yeah, okay, so that could have been the person you were in a relationship with. The Fool, a new beginning. The Magician and the Ten of Cups. Okay, so this person could be wanting a new beginning with you. They want family with you. They want everything with you. Yeah, I feel like also, look, one important part of all of this is to make sure that if you leave a narcissist, because of course, when you leave them, they're going to come in with the love bombing, and they're going to come in with the, we can have a new beginning. We can have this. We can create a new life together. We can be a family. We can start over somewhere else. We can have this. Blah, blah, blah. Of course, Spirit also wants to make sure that you're at a point in your life where you would never go back, where you would never fall for this shit again, because that's what it is. It's like lies. It's not real. It's just something they say, you know. It's like Spirit wanted to make sure that when you get out of this relationship, or when you walk away from something or walk away from a place, it's final. It's final. It is final. And there's no more lulling you back in or manipulating you back in. It's final. But it's like Spirit knew that something was about to happen in this relationship between you and this person that would open your eyes forever. It would change the way that you see them forever. And it would be like a final thing, like never again. And it's almost like Spirit knew the whole time that you weren't going to stay very long. Spirit was already telling you the whole time that something here is wrong. That this is not what it's supposed to feel like. But Spirit also knew that this person in your life was going to do something so horrific to you, so backstabbing, so degrading to you, that it would be the last kick out the door you needed to never look back. Okay, and I feel like that's what happened. Okay, that's what happened. That's what needed to happen. And I don't know. Why is that important? Because you're the peacock, okay? Because you're the peacock. The Eight of Swords. Because somebody is trying to imprison the peacock. Because this person is trying to like imprison you in some sort of way. Or it's like they want you because you're the shiny thing. Or they want you because you're the peacock. But when they have you, they don't know how to treat you at all. It's like they're trying to trap you into something, okay? They are the trap. They are the trap. The Queen of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. Yeah, okay, so this has to do with a Queen of Wands and a Queen of Cups, and some sort of a long-term investment, and what somebody has been holding on to, or their sense of stability, security, or that this person only wants you because of a sense of stability and security, like, or they just want to possess you, like they just want to have you. They just want to have you because you're like a treasure, or you're the peacock, okay? You're this beautiful peacock. That's why they want you. They want you. They want to pick the flower and they want to watch it wither away on the shelf. They see you as the flower, but they don't want to. Yeah, they just want to have the flower and watch it wither away and die on a shelf. They don't actually want to take care of it or grow it, nothing. The Four of Swords. Yeah, maybe you didn't say it. I don't know. Maybe you didn't talk about it. Maybe you didn't talk about something here. Page of Cups. Their apologies. I don't know. Them wanting to reach out, wanting to talk. Okay. Or maybe they're trying to talk to you right now and you're not saying anything at all. Yeah, because you don't want to talk to them. Because it's final. Because you don't feel like listening to the love bombing. Okay, the Two of Wands. Your choice that you made is to put up a boundary and say, no, never again. Okay, you just want to be left alone, right? You made your choice. The Moon and the Knight of Coins. Something about keeping something hidden, a plan, a strategy. There's no plan. There's no strategy. The relationship is over. That's it. No, yeah, you have a boundary up, okay? You have a boundary up and you're working on yourself. And that's it. I mean, the Hermit, you're alone, the Tower, and you're not going back. You're not. You're going into your own new beginning. Your new beginning that you're manifesting for yourself, and it's not with this person. It's not with them. It's not. You're not going back to them because you see them for who they are. If you got out of a relationship with a narcissist and you see them as a narcissist and they did something horrific to you, you're not going back, man. You're not. And if Spirit waited and Spirit was like, you are leaving, we know you want to leave, okay, just give us a second, we're almost there, and you're like, okay, and then you had that opportunity to jump off the ship and you did, you're swimming to shore, man. You are swimming to shore, beeline to shore. You're taking a straight line to the shore. You're not going back in that sinking ship. Hell no. Yeah, and that's the truth. The truth is betrayal. The truth is this person betrayed you. They stabbed you in the back. They did something horrific to you. They did something that is so, they did something that was like the last sword in the back that you needed to say, never again, never again. And it was like, it has to be something that showed you what this person thought of you the whole time, okay? It showed you what this person actually thought of you the whole time, and that you were just a withering flower on their shelf, and that's it. Okay. The Hanged Man and the Two of Cups. That is not your Two of Cups. And it might have taken you a long time to figure it out. Maybe it took you a long time. Or maybe what this is about is like the time of you're in the tree. Again, it's like you knew you were in the tree upside down. You knew it. You were just waiting for Spirit to tell you, now it's time to cut yourself loose. Now it's time. Why Spirit told you to do that, you don't know. All you know is it had to do with your safety. Had to do with getting out of something safely. Getting away from something safely. It had to do with your safety. Why you were hung up in this tree for so long. Because Spirit was like, I'm going to tell you when it's time to leave. Okay? But it has to be safe passage. It has to be a safe passage. And right now it's not. Okay? the Eight of Wands in reverse. Something is blocked. Someone is blocked. Yeah, their apologies, okay? Somebody wants to reach out. They want to talk. They want to make things right. They want to tell you everything. They want to apologize. They want to tell you they love you. They want to come and, you know, sweep you off your feet. No. Blocked. And why is it blocked? Because they stabbed you in the back. And they did something horrible to you, okay? They did something extreme to you. Horrible. And now they want to come back and love bomb. No. No. No, 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 no. Okay? No. Clover and clouds in reverse. CL, CL. Okay. Luck. Something about something being good luck. But your head is no longer in the clouds. Like, you see everything clearly. You see it very clearly. Okay? You see something extremely clearly. There is no confusion here. There is no delusion here. You know exactly who you're dealing with. You know exactly who this person is. And it's like, whatever happened, the Ten of Swords, that last sword in your back, that one was the final blow. Okay, really. The Hammer. And now they want to work on it. Hell the fuck no. You don't want to. They want to. You don't want to. Definitely not. Definitely not. Never again. Heartbroken. They're heartbroken. Okay, you're not. You're not. And the reason why you're not heartbroken is because you've been processing the grief, most likely, for months to years before this happened. Okay? Or maybe you already processed the grief, like I said, like a moment in time where you said, I'm ready to go now. Okay? Like, at some point, okay, in these kind of relationships, if you've cried so much, and you've grieved so much, then when you finally walk away, you don't cry. You don't cry anymore because you feel like you've cried everything that you can possibly cry about it. You're done. You know? So I'm going to leave it at that, guys, okay? I hope this helps. All right. Thank you for watching, and until next time. Bye.